Bonjour! Welcome to another episode of Cuisine Michelle. I am Michelle. So today in our Christmas countdown, we're going to be making a recipe that I've never made before. And this one's going to be for no-bake cake batter Muddy Buddy bars. I know, that's quite the title. Okay, anyway, we need the following ingredients for this. You're going to need some almond bark, salted butter, marshmallows, vanilla extract, almond extract, rice Chex mix, some holiday sprinkles, and some powdered sugar. And yes, this is my powdered sugar that I colored from a few recipes back. I'm trying to use up what was left over, and I don't mind if there's a little bit of color in these. I don't think it'll show up too much. Anyway, let's get started here in the pan. The first step here is actually going to be to start with this pan. We're going to take a 13x9 pan and line it with aluminum foil, then spray that foil with non-stick cooking spray. Just set that aside. Then here in my pan, I've got the heat going over medium-low, and we're going to be heating up 8 ounces of the vanilla flavored almond bark. Along with that, we're going to be putting in a 1/4 cup, which is a 1/2 stick of salted butter. And then I'm going to work on getting those all melted together. Great, now that I've gotten the almond bark and the butter all melted and smooth, we're going to be adding in 10 ounces of marshmallows. Now you can use, I happen to have this, the big ones on hand, but you can also use the small ones. It does not matter. But you want to get those in there and coated so they can start melting together into the mixture right away. We are now going to put in, and of course we're going to continue melting the marshmallows. We're going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla extract, along with a 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract. We will continue until this is all melted and smooth. Okay, now that this is fully melted, we're going to be putting in 7 cups of rice Chex mix, along with 1/2 cup of sprinkles, and stirring that up, of course. Okay, we're now going to scoop that out into our prepared pan. This is a lot like making Rice Krispie treats in a way, the melted marshmallows and everything. Whoop, I went over the edge. I was looking in the pan and I went over the side. It's fun and silly like that. Oh Lord, so sticky. Sticky and a bit messy, but that's okay. Get that spread as best we can into the pan. All right, so I'm finding that this is really hard to spread with the thing there, so much like you have to do whenever you do marshmallow crispy treats, you probably have to butter your hands a little bit, and it's definitely not going to be super completely evenly spread. There's going to be some parts that are more marshmallowy than others, it looks like. Excuse me. And then once you have this in the pan, then you're going to want to leave it for 1 hour. So here we are at final plating. And I've got these all coated. I did have to use more powdered sugar You need about 2/3 of a cup rather than 1/3, so I'll make sure to write that in the recipe. And now I'm going to try one of these, what appear to me now to be sugar bombs. Let's see how they are. Mm-hmm. Well, it is actually really good. It tastes a lot like a Rice Krispie treat, but just with a kind of different twist to it with the powdered sugar and stuff in it. I think that the bigger non-pareils are a little bit crunchy on my teeth, which is okay and all, but I would suggest if you're going to make these to make them only with the really small versions of the non-pareils. Just for that reason, I'm going to be warning people that there are a few rather crunchy bits in here. They didn't get, well, the parts that are in the marshmallow got a little bit softened, but they're good. They're very, very sweet, as expected. Anyway, thank you for joining us for another episode of Cuisine Michel. Please be sure to give this video a like, a share with your friends, and subscribe to us. And we'll see you next time. Au revoir.